This video, I want to talk about the protected keyword. This one actually we already have this information in Handout 7, but we don't have time to go over that. So this one we want to talk about the protected keyword because from the abstract class example earlier, that's the first time we see the protected keyword for the data attribute or method. So the protected keyword, actually any protected member of a class can be accessed from a subclass. In the other word, any protected member from a superclass, they can be accessed from their child class. Different from the private member or private keyword, any private data attribute or method, they only can be accessed inside the class. So that's why here, any private data in the parent class, we still need to provide the getter function or setter function to allow the child class to access. But sometimes through the inheritance relationship, we do have many information we do want to share through the inheritance relationship. So that's why if you feel that's data, any data attribute or the method, they should be able be modified or accessed through from the child class. Then we can consider to make them, instead using the private, we change that become protected. So the protected keyword is allow the subclasses to access the data field or the method defined in the superclass, but not allow non-subclasses to access that. So here you can see from the beginning to the end, we talk about many different keywords for the modifier. So we have public, that's what we talk about. We have private, we have protected. So you can see these three keywords, the modifier, not only we use that in Java, and also we use that in C++ as well. And also these three keywords in C++ is only for the object or class we define. In Java, we are pure object-oriented concept. So that's why any data attribute, any method you define, any class you define, you all can add private, protected, or public keyword. So there are different visibility or accessibility modifier. Addition to C++, Java we have private, protected, public, and also we have one more. Did you remember that? Actually, right, we have one more, that's the default. That means if we don't have any modifier. So that's why total we have 4 different visibility. So this visibility, you can see this lower one, of course, is private. If we make that default, that means this no modifier, but default can be accessed by the package or within the package. So the private is within the class, default within the package. So the protected, actually earlier we already said, protected you can be accessed through your inheritance relationship. So that's why your child class can access those protected. And also protected also means you can be accessed within the package. So that's why protected is a little higher than default. Default can be accessed within the package. Protected actually still can be accessed within the package, plus any subclass or child class outside the package, outside the same package. So then of course you can see public can be accessed anytime. So here we can using the next example to see more better. You can see for different modifier, for the same class, we can do anything. We can access anything. But in the same package, only private cannot access. Even you are protected or no modifier, that's default, you can access. But if you are in different package, If you are a subclass, you can still access using the protected keyword. So the public can be accessed from different package, no problem. So here we'll give you more example. If we have 5 different classes, but here the class 1, C1, C2, C3, they are all in the same package we call P1. And we have another package called P2. So we have class 4 and 5. So here in the package 1, C3 inherited from C1. C2 just no relationship, they are in the same package. So if C1 we have 4 different data attributes, public, protected, default, or private. Because the class is public, so any other class we can try to create a C1 object. But even you create a C1 object, right? Then here you see C2, they are not related, they are in the same package. After you create a C1 object, I can access the public, protected, and the default attribute, but not the private. So then you see the C3. The same thing, C3, because you are extended from C1, so you don't really see you create a C1 object. But when you create a C3 object, they will invoke the default constructor from C1. So here, once you extend from C1, actually for the public attribute, I can direct access from my child class, and the protected variable, and the default variable, but not private. But the private, if you have getter function, of course, getter or setter method, we can access that. So the same reason, you see here, I have C4. C4, even you are not in the same package, you still can inherit it from C1. But once you inherit it from C1, right, you can direct access X. You can direct access Y. But this one, the default variable, you cannot direct access. You still need to go through the public getter or method. Getter function or setter function to access that. So then you see the private, definitely you cannot access. So the last one, C5, you have not really have any relationship between from C1, but because C1 is a public class, so we can create a C1 object. Once you create a C1 object, you only can access the public X through the C1 object. The rest of that, you cannot access that.